Good evening and thank you for joining me. I'm meteorologist Jake Lambright. Of course, you can see behind me here the Paragon Casino Resort where things are looking pretty great out there tonight. We are also gearing up for our first week of fifth quarter. That starts tomorrow night. So I want to take you to the game of the week out in southern Avoyelles Parish in Bunkie, where the Bunkie Panthers will be facing off against the St. Mary's Tigers tomorrow at 7 p.m. The forecast is going to start off pretty warm, but not expecting rain or anything of that nature. We'll start off kickoff time about 88, 87 degrees or so. And then by the time you start to leave the game toward the end, looking at temperatures there in the upper 70s to lower 80s. First alert satellite and radar right now looking pretty great across the board. Things have been dry. We've had drier air in the mid and upper levels of our atmosphere, which has been suppressing our rain chances these past couple of days. I'm expecting that to continue into tomorrow. Here's a look at that upper level water vapor. And you can see here again where those orange contours are. That's where we really have that dry air in place and set up right over us in central Louisiana and even in southern Louisiana as well. We do have some big changes coming to the forecast in the coming days. You'll notice to our northwest heading into tomorrow evening, there will be that cold front out in portions of southeastern Oklahoma and southern Arkansas. That will eventually move our way as we head into this weekend. In fact, here's a look at temperatures compared to average, our departure from normal. So where things are forecasted to be versus the average temperature for this time of the year. You can tell where that front is set up over portions of Oklahoma and Arkansas. By Sunday, we're looking at temperatures near average, even slightly below average across the board. That's a look at things Sunday about 3 p.m. But that cool down will not last very long. In fact, beyond the 7-day forecast, we're right back to above average temperatures, and I'm expecting things to stay that way as we head toward the middle of the month as well. Our high temperature trend here for the next 7 days, we're going to be in the 90s, mid 90s tomorrow. It's going to be the warmest day out of the next 7, low 90s Saturday, and then the 80s Sunday through Tuesday. We're right back to low 90s though, heading into Wednesday and Thursday, which does put us a little bit closer to our seasonal average for this time of the year, which here in central Louisiana is right around 92 degrees. I am still tracking things pretty closely in the tropics. You'll notice that red X there is a tropical wave out in the east central Atlantic. That tropical wave now designated Invest 91L, kind of short for Area of Investigation. And because this has been designated an Area of Investigation, we now have some higher resolution modeling as well as some spaghetti plots with that. So let me use my pen tool here. Here's where 91L is now, and most models have this continuing to move off to the west. With that said, I'm watching this, but I'm not overly concerned about it at this time. You'll notice here there is a bit of spread between the spaghetti models as we get toward that circled area, and it's going to take that wave about a week to move into that area. So still lots of time to monitor this and lots of time to keep a close eye on it. Of course, if there's anything to look out for or prepare for, I'll give you the first alert. For now, I just want to let you know it's on my radar. I'm watching it, but I don't see a big concern for us along the Gulf Coast for now. Also, kind of the general consensus when looking at things in the forecast with this is if it were to take more of a westerly track into the Caribbean islands and potentially into the Gulf, it would do so as a substantially weaker system. Whereas if it makes a curve back into sea, it would be a stronger storm, but on the plus side, it would stay out at sea and not have an impact on the United States whatsoever. So still a lot of uncertainty, still a lot of time for the forecast to kind of iron out in the days to come. With that said, the extended tropical outlook, the first one here takes you September 10th through September 16th. There's a low chance that we see some kind of tropical development out near the Caribbean islands and out toward the Gulf as well. With that said, we're going to see it once this front moves through this upcoming weekend. It's going to move to our south over to the northern Gulf and stall out. And this time of the year, we can see some sneaky tropical development, especially of some weaker disturbances with those kind of stalled fronts. So not saying that's going to be the case this weekend or next week, but it's that time of the year where we do have to watch those a little bit closer. With that said, something a little more organized like a tropical depression still is on the weaker end, but can enhance our rain chances. But beyond that, really doesn't bring that much of an impact to our area. With that said, again, no Gulf threats to monitor at this time. I'm just going to be a little more interested in that area as we go through the next few weeks. Another area highlighted the 10th through the 16th is what we call the main development region. Coming right off the west coast of Africa there is the chance that we see a couple of those, or see a tropical system try to develop. Of course, not a guarantee though, but I will be watching that very closely. Our extended tropical outlook taking you through September 17th through the 23rd highlights the same areas. Lower chance for tropical development out in the Gulf. With that said, there's more of a bullseye there on the main development region, so we'll be watching that very, very closely as we head through the middle to latter part of this month. Again, neither outlook guarantees tropical development. With that said, though, it is that time of the year. It's around peak hurricane season, and things will probably stay a little more active, even if we don't see storms impact us, which hopefully is the case as we go through the rest of September and even through the first half of October. Now, when it comes to rain chances are at 30% on Sunday as that front starts to move through the area, and there is a chance that a tropical storm out in the Pacific could even help to enhance our rain chances as we go through this weekend as that front moves through. We'll talk more about that here in just a second. And just taking a quick glance at things, an update here on the tropics while I'm talking about them here. So that wave I've been talking about, 91L, 60% chance of development within the next 48 hours, 90% chance of development within the next 7 days. So that tropical storm out in the eastern Pacific, let me circle it for you here. This is Tropical Storm Lorena. The remnants of Lorena are going to continue moving off to the northeast and join with a trough of low pressure that will already be moving through the area that's going to bring us those cooler temperatures and rain chances and potentially enhance those rain chances just a little bit. Not sold on this doing anything extreme, but you'll notice some of that remnant energy here over Texas and Louisiana into Saturday and Sunday as that system continues progressing off to the east. So for us, all good news. Maybe we squeeze a little bit more rain out of this overall low pressure system thanks to some remnant energy and moisture from Lorena. Right now, temperatures are in the upper 70s and low 80s out there, feeling a little bit nice, but also on the muggier side as well. We'll see temps falling into the low to mid 70s for those overnight lows a little bit later tonight. Of course, temperatures right back to near 90 degrees by lunchtime and in the mid 90s by tomorrow afternoon. Here's a look at tomorrow's forecast. Again, highs near 95, rain chances pretty minimal thanks to that dry air in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere, but those rain chances will return to the forecast here very soon. All right, we're talking more about your 7 and 10 day forecast coming up in 60 seconds. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. All right, here's a check of that first alert 7-day forecast. Again, cooler temperatures arrive on Sunday. Highs will be in the mid 80s. We keep it in the 80s until Wednesday of next week, and then highs are back in the 90s. Here's a look at your 10-day forecast. 90s expected to continue through the rest of next week and into the following weekend, and that extended forecast showing more likely than not we will see above average temperatures going through a good chunk of September. All right, that's a look there of your full first alert 7 and 10-day forecast. For those watching our 10 o'clock newscast tonight, a programming note for you. It will start tonight at 10:35 due to ongoing sports. We'll see you then tonight 10:35 on NBC, also on our smart TV apps for Roku, Fire, and Apple TV. You can also watch that live on our website, kalb.com/livestream. Have a great night tonight and have a great Friday ahead.